Hi there, welcome to Startup Central. I'm Nayantara working from home. This is the only show of its kind on Indian television dedicated, of course, to startups, also technology, entrepreneurship, innovation, disruption. Basically, if it has anything to do with the new economy, it's here every weekday on ET Now at 6 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, pretty much like all the stakeholders we get on this show, Team Startup Central thrives on constructive feedback. Don't hold back, we can handle it. Tell us how we can improve the show. Tell us what's missing, what you'd like to see. Our email address right on top, suc@etnow.tv. I'm also on Twitter. Feel free to reach out to me directly as well. Now recently, we started a new series under Startup Central. It's called Vocal for Local. Yes, we're taking a leaf from the clarion call made by the Prime Minister and talking about brands that are making waves, why you should be looking at local brands. Today, I'm putting the spotlight on a startup that is in the yoga business. You can't get more local, you can't get more Indian than yoga. Yoga is perhaps one of the best gifts that we've given to the rest of the world. And my guest today is a 28-year-old yogi who's become a very successful entrepreneur. He's so successful, in fact, that he's got the likes of Malaika Arora, Jennifer Lopez, the former chairman of MTV Network, all to invest in his startup. It's called Sarva. And with that, I'm going to invite my 28-year-old guest, Shashi, who's joining us. Hi, thank you so much for being a part of Startup Central. You know, you're very often called the cool yogi, the yogi who's trying to make yoga younger, more chic. Has it been fun? Has it been chic during COVID-19? That's the first question I want to ask you.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm truly humbled and honored and grateful. And like you rightly said, I don't think there is not many things that can genuinely mean vocal for local from India. So thank you again. So yes, I think COVID for me, I probably split it into two parts. One for me individually and one for the company. Individually, I'm used to this. I've gone completely silent for 40 days, confined in a room, meditating for 6 hours, no talking, no phones, no music, no webinars, no interviews, no Instagram lives, absolutely nothing. So I have done that. So individually, for me, it's fine. As a company, I think as much as a lot of people may not like to hear it, it has been a silver lining for us, because our digital business has really grown at least 350%. We're seeing users, daily active users growing so rapidly, because more than anything else, the word immunity is being heard quite a lot, not just by our Honorable Prime Minister Modi, but Stanford is talking about it, Harvard is talking about it, and every single health journal out there is talking about how yoga can improve immunity. So we launched our online platform, we launched our app, and we've seen significant growth from where we started and where we are now. And increasingly, we're seeing a lot of traction there. So we're fairly blessed with that way.
Okay, I have to ask you this question. You did a Vipassana of sorts for 40 days at the start of the lockdown, where you didn't go on Instagram, you didn't go do webinars, all of that. But hey, is that responsible as a founder, as an entrepreneur?
Oh, no.
How did you balance that? And at the same time, you're telling me how Sarva grew leaps and bounds.
Okay, so I don't know whether I think it came across differently. I have done such a 40-day thing in my past. So the lockdown was not very difficult for me as an individual.
Okay.
Which means I have done that itself. So this is not difficult for me. That's what I meant. Not that I did it right now. I have done it.
Okay. So it had geared you for this.
Yes.
Okay, it had geared you for this. Okay, now I get it. I can't even dream of going 4 hours without talking. So 40 days to someone like me is like, oh my God. But I also want to ask you, Shashi, that it's a time when everybody has to reinvent their business models. Like I said, yoga is perhaps one of the best gifts that we've given to the rest of the world. And there are lots of opportunities that now exist, particularly during the lockdown time, when everybody needs to look inward, everybody's becoming more conscious of fitness, wants to increase their immunity. all of that. You've talked about how Sarva has done well. Can you tell me a little more about it?
So I think we've launched two things. One is we've launched our app, which is seen over a little over 150,000 users already in the last 70 days, which is extremely encouraging and impressive, according to me. And we launched our live.sarva.com platform, which is a web-based platform where the classes are interactive. Live classes, there are many live classes happening, which is 1:many, which is everybody can see you, but you can't see anybody, right? But what's happening during this lockdown is the concept of loneliness is kind of increasing day by day. I mean, people are not able to kind of be alone because loneliness leads to two things. One, you start going inward. Two, you start sometimes living in denial. You don't want to see the true self. So loneliness is getting kind of creeping in quite a bit during this lockdown. So what we did is we did an interactive kind of a group class workout, more like on the Zoom where there are 25, 30, 40 people and they kind of are able to talk to each other, see each other, talk to the instructor. Instructor is being able to kind of be very vocal about correction, making it more interactive. And I also like to use the word community. So it's community and interactive. And that's really resulted in some significant amount of loyalty and brand kind of liking towards us. And of course, we launched this in 20 countries. We launched it all for free in Italy for the first 35 to 40 days. So we had a lot of people from Italy kind of signing up because yoga, again, immunity group. We reached out to a lot of Indians there. We reached out to a lot of people in the medical care facilities, and all of them from their hospitals kind of started doing classes with us, which was really encouraging.
You know, what is also I find very fascinating is that you're all at 28 and look at the life you have already led, which includes a 40-day long Vipassana. But, you know, just to have access to people like Jennifer Lopez, a Shark Tank, the former MTV chairman, Zumba founder, back home, Malaika Arora, Shahid Kapoor. What is your asana for success?
Well, I'd probably just name that in one word, which is authenticity. I follow the 5 wow principle. No intoxication, which is no alcohol, no smoking, no meat. No non-violence through actions, thoughts, and words. No mental and physical stealing. Physical stealing is you physically steal. Mental stealing is, oh my God, okay, I wish I had what Nayantara had, etc., etc. The 4th part is no lying. I don't even white lie. So if I'm late because I overslept, I'm late because I overslept, not because there was traffic on the road. 5th one was by far the most difficult, and some people really wonder how do I do it, is celibacy. So I've been practicing all these 5 precepts for the last 10 years, which has genuinely made me a very different person. And I think not as a business, I think one, where India, right, authenticity, which is India, yoga, etc. It is a gift to the rest of the world from India. Second piece is we're a holistic solution, which is mind, body, and nourish. And the foundation of all these 3 is yoga. And the third piece is obviously the passion I believe I bring in, because I started yoga at the age of 6. It's been 22 years right now. I met my guru when I was 17, which again has been about 11 years. And all the life, and I was a very different child. Anger, arrogance, attitude was the 3 A's of my life before 17. How yoga changed Test cricket into T20, if I have to give you an analogy. So make it modern, make it accessible, have a variety, and yet make it transformative. So our average age today is about 31, which is fairly significant for us because we see a lot of youngsters getting involved into yoga, both mind and body for that matter.
And when you talk about authenticity, you know, you've also tried to reinvent it. You're looking to make it more fun, more young, more chic. You in fact maybe stretched it to so much where you've got like aqua yoga. You've got something called basketball yoga. How has the traditional yoga gurus reacted to this? Is it something that they like? Are they open to? And did you struggle with that at all?
No, so I'll tell you, when I began Sarva, right, when we formalized Sarva, we told ourselves that listen, and I told myself, yoga changed my life when I was 17. If I had gone to that kind of a crowd saying, hey, come and do meditation, pranayama, let's do a form of yoga, they would typically not be very keen to doing it because they're like, there are many myths, right? Yoga can't help you lose weight. It's only for the older people. It's only for women, etc., etc. But I think I wanted to change that. So, which is why I gave you the analogy. When T20 started, a lot of test cricketers, people who kind of played test, watched test, were like, what is this, 20 overs? But it did get and reach a wider audience. It did become really, really large in terms of a brand. And that's what we wanted to do to yoga. So we never started and said, hey, Surya Namaskar is 18 steps. We said it's 12 steps, but we may have a prop in your hand, which is basketball. What did that lead us into, Nayantara? We started taking curriculum classes for schools. So a lot of schools, we were part of their curriculum. So a lot of young kids aging from 11 to upwards of about 13, 14, we were doing a lot of sessions. Well, funnily, I have a class day after tomorrow for kids in the age of 11 and 12. And I'm going to be doing something really engaging with them with regards to yoga. But what's the best part of this is every yoga class that we have ends with pranayama and relaxation and all of that. So what happens is when these kids end up doing that, well, we take them onto a journey from basketball, from aqua, from paddleboard, from sculpt, from strap, chair, etc. It leads on to them towards the final step, and then they feel relaxed and they're like, wow, this is really good. My memory is improving. I was hyperactive as a person, and in 40 days I can see a big change in me. And that's what yoga does. Yoga is transformational, body and mind, and you need to start yoga at the age of 6. And for me, as an individual and as a founder, it was important that how do I make every single person get to know the importance of this beautiful practice. That's why our vision statement says connecting 7 billion breaths.
Okay, and tell me something in this, with what you've done, whether it's basketball yoga, aerial yoga, aqua yoga, you're talking about programs for school children, all of that. Have you seen that at least at Sarva that you've got maybe younger clients? And also, isn't that because yoga is hot right now? Yoga is the buzzword around the world at the moment as well. That I'm sure that helps you.
Yes, I think that significantly helped us quite a lot. But if I may just step back, 2016, when we formalized and started, our average age was 46. In 2.5 years from then, our average age became 31. We're still in that range of 28 to 35. And globally, the female is to male ratio is anywhere between 85 and 15. 85% female, 15% male. At Sarva, it's 67% female, 33% male. Why? Because we made it exciting for them. We said you can build muscles, you can become strong, that you will increase stamina, weight loss will happen. We've had people lose 15 kilos in about, I think about 3 months time, etc. Our app that's launched, it's called Sarva, available on both, it's on Android and iOS. We have a 2 weeks body beautiful challenge, 14-day program where people have lost 5 kgs and they're seeing tremendous amount of improvement in flexibility, in strength, in stamina, and the most important thing in posture. Because what we are seeing during these times, 3 things are getting largely affected for individuals. 1 is their posture, 2 is their sleep patterns, 3 is they are falling into the category of being anxious. Anxiety is also kind of creeping in. But yes, all of this is normal. Nobody has to worry. All they have to do is they need to do the first step, which is accept that they have this. And once you accept that you have this, you can choose your path, yoga, functional training, gym, whatever, etc., etc. But that 1 hour a day is extremely important. And because of us, we made yoga cool and exciting and modern and all of that. We see the average age kind of dropping down, and also a good mix of participation between male and female.
How did Jennifer Lopez become an investor? How did that happen?
A lot of people love to hear that. In 2018, I met this person called David Giampaolo, who's known as the most networked man in Great Britain by Financial Times and Times Magazine and a bunch of other things. He introduced me to a guy called Mark Mastrow. Mark Mastrow was the earlier founder of 24-Hour Fitness and Yoga Works. Currently, he's one of the investors and co-owners of Sacramento Kings NBA teams. Mark sold his company for 1.5 billion, and he's known as the Steve Jobs of fitness. He knew Alex and Jennifer, and David introduced us to Mark. David invested. David introduced us to Mark. Mark invested, and Mark said, "Hey, you know what? One day I got an email saying, hey, I sent it to Jennifer and Alex. They're interested to invest. Are you keen?" I'm like, excuse me, like, are you keen? Of course. Then we went and met them. Jennifer saw one of my videos and said, "Sarvesh, I'm extremely moved. Can you play that again?" We played the video again. We told her the story. We told her what we wanted to do. She said, for the very first time she stroke Mark Mastrow, all of them kind of said similar things. So India is a booming economy, and something as authentic as yoga from India going to the globe, making a difference in people's lives, ensuring that it impacts everybody very authentically, and we also get to make money because they said we're capitalists and we love to make money, etc. We love to give back to the society. All of this in one company was supremely excited. She not only invested, but she also took me with her in her private plane to watch her concert in Las Vegas. And it was a out of the movie kind of an experience. So yeah.
Wait. You went on a private plane with Jennifer Lopez to Las Vegas to this trip, and then, like, you guys gambled, you went to the casinos, you performed, she performed, what?
So she had a show. She was doing a tour there. She was doing 150 shows in that particular hotel, and watched her show. And then she had a private party, and then we attended that. We danced together and all of that stuff. So.
How many selfies did you take at that party with how many superstars? Can you share with us?
Well, honestly, right? I mean, I may come across as not so cool by saying this, but for me, it's not like, oh wow, that's Jennifer Lopez, and I have kind of envisioned to see her or meet her or whatever. For me, I think it was really about, like, whether it's Jennifer Lopez or whether it's Malaika Arora here. I mean, they're just supremely inspirational people because they follow a lot in this lifestyle. Yoga has truly changed their lives. And for example, Malaika, I always say she's my most favoritist. I mean, I genuinely couldn't have expected a better person than her as a partner. Her designation in Sarva and the other brand, Jiva Yoga, is as a co-founder. And she genuinely believes in all of this. Sorry?
You know what? They also say what happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. But I'm just being flippant over there. But I also wanted to ask you, tell us a little bit, like, like I said, you've got her, you've got Shark Tank investor, her fiance, you've got, the former chairman of MTV. These are globally famous, renowned personalities who take their work very, very seriously. They're super achievers. So on one side, having them mentor you, if they do, is fantastic. On the other side, I'm sure there's a lot of pressure to deliver. How has that been?
Well, that's what I said, right? Everybody talks only about that one part of it. But the other part of it, I think they've been extremely supportive, whether it's the global investors, whether it's the Indian investors, our institutional investors in Fireside Ventures, all of them have been extremely supportive, right? They've been supportive in terms of how do we navigate this particular situation? How, not just now, earlier also, how do we actually, very, very small advices, whether it's introducing to people, whether it's actually telling us what's global standards of actually running a brick and mortar business, what's global standards of actually how do you run a digital business, and what are the most important things that one should have in terms of building a team. Because I always fundamentally work with the 6 P's of business. The first P is purpose, second P is passion, third is potential, fourth is product. So how do we build a great product? The fifth is people. How do you build a great team? And the 6th P is profit. So the last 3 P's, they have played a significant role because obviously the purpose, passion, and potential is largely what I bring onto the table. But apart from that, the next 3 P's, which is product, people, and profit, which is how do you build it into a sustainable business? Because yes, like you said, it's wellness is a $4.2 trillion industry. Yoga is really hot, etc., etc. But yoga is there everywhere too. A lot of people are trying to do yoga. How do you actually make it into a sustainable business that's scalable and that's also impacting many lives? That is a very clear and core goal. And all the investors, that is whether it's global or India, individuals or institutional investors, they play a significant role in making this happen.
Okay, and Shashi, with that, I'm going to thank you and here's wishing you all the very best. Look forward to getting you back on Startup Central. Many thanks for being so candid as well. Thanks a lot again.